All right. So when it comes to re-registration, we just want to give some insights into that because we get a lot of questions about this, like, okay, well, what next? And actually, I think the key thing to remember is that there is a window of time to re-register. So that's the first point. It opened up in October of 2023, and it will run for 2.5 years. So that's putting it into April of 2026. It's hard to believe when you talk about the future like that. Like, what will we all be doing in 2026? But the point is that there is quite a long time when you have for re-registration. Having said that, how many AGM cycles is it? So next year and the year after, that's because most AGMs, obviously, they're annual general meetings. So if you hold yours in September, October, that's actually only like 2 cycles of AGM. So we think that it's probably a good practice to get on with it, to look at what the requirements are, which we've talked about in other resources and videos. And once you have rules that are compliant, to actually just get on and re-register. So maybe, Sophie, do you want to jump through, like, what is it that they need when they're coming to re-register? Oh, also, how much does it cost? It must be very expensive.
Well, lucky for you, Stephen, re-registration is free, which is a great call on MB's part. So it is free to re-register. And in order to re-register, you'll need to provide Companies Office with the following. You'll need your society's name, confirmation that your society has the minimum number of members, which is 10 members, a constitution that aligns with the new Act. Now, as Stephen mentioned, this is the part that will probably take the most time, and it is something to be aware of, that actually you'll need member input and members to vote on this constitution. So just be aware of that as you plan for re-registration. So you need a constitution in alignment with the new Act, your balance date, your society's contact details, and details of committee members and other officers. So it's quite procedural, isn't it, Stephen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the key point, is we don't want to overblow it and like, wow, this is really complicated. It's actually relatively straightforward. That once you have your rules, right? and the key thing with the rules is that we'd encourage you to be taking your members on the journey with you. So instead of going to them at the AGM and saying, hi, everyone, here's the rules, please pass them. And, well, that's one approach. But I think a better approach would be to actually go out and say, hi, everyone, our AGM is coming up. Here's the draft rules. Do you have any feedback? We want to involve you. We're doing this together. And then at the AGM, it gets passed, and then you would go ahead and re-register. So yeah, just some things to think about. Obviously, every situation is different. How many members have you got? Some of you are looking and going, but there's only 10 of us anyway. We can just have a quick catch up. Others of you are going, yeah, we've got 1,200 members. It's going to be a logistical exercise to let people know what's going on. But we have seen, some other groups we've seen sometimes if they don't involve the members, then it ends up being a worse process because people suspect something, or why weren't we involved? And yeah, so one thing that we can do to add value, if it's of assistance, is that we sometimes come in, we help to review your existing rules, we help to write the new rules, and then thirdly, sometimes we do a short memo, which is to the members saying, here are the key things that are changing, and here's why this has to happen, which can sometimes be good for a committee because it's like an objective voice coming in and letting people know what's the process, what's the timing, what's going on. But yeah, I think that's all we need to say about re-registration. There is quite a lot on the Companies Office website, but we also have some guides on our page, our information hub for incorporated societies. So hopefully that helps you. And the other thing is that we're happy to take questions. So if you ever have an uncertainty, just send us, either of us, an email. We're happy to respond and give you a pointer in the right direction. No cost. We just want to support the sector. So anything else on re-registration?
I think you've covered it all, Stephen.
Great.